Hi everybody, welcome back. This is the final video for this lesson. So the purpose of this video is to just show you guys how to start searching for this stuff. I know it can feel overwhelming, especially for those of you who don't have a bank account yet, because there's so many options out there. So all I'm going to do with this video is use one bank as an example and show you how to navigate a banking website, because most of the banks, their websites are very similar to each other. So by showing you one, it will show you how to do all of them. And the main purpose here is to just help you feel a little more confident so that you can do this yourself. Now, nothing I show you is going to be mind-blowing. All of this is very easy to do. Like I said, it's just about having the confidence to do it. So when you start looking for a bank, whether you're wanting to find out about other banks, for those who already have a bank account, or for those of you who want to create, open your first one, right? Go to Google, and it's this simple. All I type in is the best, the best savings accounts for teenagers, because you are teenagers, right? And when you scroll down, I like to go with NerdWallet. NerdWallet has a very simple way of breaking down information. It's just very easy to view. So this says best savings accounts for kids. So when I click on that, right, here's the top 4 or top 5 in the country for now. Now, remember we keep talking about how the fact that you're young is a huge benefit for you. Well, one of the reasons why it's a benefit for you is because children are often offered the best interest rates. Unless you're an adult who makes millions of dollars, they get offered good interest rates too. So again, the fact that you're under the age of 17 and 18 means you could open basically a youth savings account and get higher interest rates than I could as a 38-year-old adult. Now, when you reach a certain age, they will switch that account from a youth account to their regular account. But you guys have a couple years still where you could get you could take advantage of these youth interest rates, and I'll show you how. So, like I said, when you scroll down, this is the information you're looking for. On the left here, it tells you the bank, right? So it looks like the banks that have the 5 best accounts for kids are Capital One, Alliant Credit Union, Bank of America, Golden Credit Union, and then BECU, which is basically Boeing's credit union. Now, over here it tells you the APY. API is basically the interest rate. In other words, it's the rate that the bank will give you for keeping your money in there, meaning the money they're going to pay you. So Capital One, wow, this is the first time that this dropped, because usually for the past few years Capital One has always been 1%, but now they're offering 0.5%, which is kind of not as good as it used to be. Alliant Credit Union now, yeah, they have 1.35%, but it's a credit union, right? So one, they might not have them in the city, and two, you got to look up, well, what do you have to be to become a member of that? It might not be an option for you. Bank of America is even worse. It's 0.03%. Sorry, when I was talking about Capital One, it's 0.5%. So just want to make sure that's clear. So yeah, 0.03%. Again, that's nothing, and you have to have a minimum balance of $25 to open up the account and maintain that $25 or above to keep that interest rate. Boeing, wow, 4%. That's an insane interest rate. I looked it up, and it doesn't look like you have to be a child of a Boeing employee, but you do have to meet certain requirements to become a member of the credit union. So, you can look at it, but again, it might not be an option for you. Now, the bank I will show you is Apple Bank. And the reason I'm going to focus on Apple Bank is because they do something that I think is really good and very rare. It's also a local bank, so it's located in New York City. Now, just because I'm showing you this bank doesn't mean this has to be the bank you choose. Maybe some of you will like Chase. Maybe some of you want an online bank. But, again, Apple Bank's website is similar to the others. So knowing how to navigate that, you can do the others. So we'll go back to Google, and I'm going to type in Apple Bank. And I'm going to click on the Apple Bank website. So whenever you click on a bank website, usually these are the categories. It's always personal, business, invests, and investing. Some of them might have a few more categories depending on how large they are, but you're always looking for personal. And when you put the mouse on personal, right, the different types of accounts they offer will show up. So what you want to then click on is, well, here they say youth savings, so we want to click right on that, but understand you could click on savings too, and then the youth savings would pull up too. So I'm going to click on youth savings. And now, right out of the gate, it says youth savings accounts, a 3% APY, in other words, a 3% interest rate on balances from $5 to $10,000. Meaning, if in your bank account you have $5 minimum or anything up to $10,000, you will get that interest rate. So we scroll down, and usually they'll have a summary of the characteristics of the account. So it's an account for ages 6 through 17. Most of you are 14 or 15 right now, so you would meet that requirement, even though you're only going to get a few more years of the benefit. Then again, you have to keep to get that rate. You have to keep your account at $5 to $10,000. So you could have $6 in your account and you will still get that interest rate. But if you have $4, you won't get that interest rate. And then if your account goes above $10,000, then they will lower your rate. So you notice how they're like rewarding you for being young, but then if you have too much money in the account, all of a sudden they're penalizing you by lowering your rate. Most banks do things like that. Like I said, that's why you have to understand they're not your friend. They are out to survive. It only costs $1 to open the account and $5 to earn interest. So meaning if all you have is $1, you can go and open an account now, but in order to get that interest rate, you need to have $5 or more to get it. And there's no monthly maintenance fee, meaning they will not charge you any money for keeping your money there for a month, each month. That's important. You never want to take an account that's going to charge you fees, because that's basically the bank saying, hey, we're going to charge you money for keeping your money in here. All right? Now, here's the same information that's up here, just in more detailed form. But what you want to click on is deposit rates, because this will always give you a breakdown of their different accounts. So you click on deposit rates and then click on checking and savings rates. And here it will give you the breakdown of all their different types of accounts. So if you look on the left, right, savings. These are the different savings accounts that Apple Bank has. Grand yield savings, youth savings, bonus savings. This is their regular savings, holiday and vacation clubs, etc. So what it does is it tells you the name of the account, then the minimum to open the account. So in other words, you need to deposit this amount of money in order to open that account. So for example, for youth savings, to open it, you have to deposit $1. But if you want the grand yield savings account, then you have to deposit $100. Or if you want the bonus savings account, well, you have to deposit initially $2,500. Now, up here where it says minimum daily balance range to earn interest, what they're saying is in order to get the interest rate that's promised, you have to keep a certain amount of money in your account at all times. So for the youth savings account, right, you can get the 3%, or in other words, the 2.96%, if you keep $5 to $10,000 in your account. But if your account goes above 10,000 to 20,000, then they lower it to 1%, which honestly is still good because, like for example, my bank account, it only gives me 0.09%. So in other words, I could have $1,000 in my account, and every month they'll just give me 1 cent back. So it's not much. So that's still pretty good. But if you notice the bonus savings, right? If you have $2,500 to open it in your account, you don't get any interest rate. But then if you have, or to below 2,500, you get none. But then if you keep 2,500 to 24,999, you get 0.75%. So again, notice how you get different interest rates depending upon how much money you have in your account. The youth savings account is a really good interest rate, and as far as I know, based on other research that I did, this for New York City, this is a very high interest rate that many of you can take advantage of. Now, why do I like Apple Bank more than other banks? Because if you look to the bottom here, look what it says. Checking and savings interest is compounded daily and paid monthly. Meaning, I have Bank of America. Bank of America compounds the interest monthly. So in other words, at the end of the month, Bank of America looks at how much money I have in my account, and then they pay me back interest based on the amount at the end of the month. Apple, on the other hand, is compounding daily. And like I said, daily compounding, like we learned from that previous lesson, is always the best because it means every day your money is making more money. Now, let's try this out. So if you ever want, remember how I taught you the rule of 72? Well, I'm going to show you there's an easier way to do this online. So if you open up another tab and type in interest calculator, okay, I find the easiest one to use is the one from investor.gov. So click on compound interest calculator. And when you're shopping around for banks, what you can do is you can type in the interest rates and see which one is going to give you more money over time. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's very, no, thank you. It's very easy to use. So let's go back to Apple and let's plug this in. So let's say Nathan opened up a youth savings account, right? And he initially put in a deposit of $500. So that's what he put in to open the account. Now, let's say Nathan doesn't have a job and he doesn't get a job for the next few years. So remember, at age 17, he can no longer have that account. They'll switch it. So we're really only working with 2 years, right? So let's say for the next 2 years, Nathan is not able to put anything more than that $500. And then, like I said, it's 2 years before he turns 17. And the interest rate, it said it was 2.96%. So we'll type that in. Range of interest rates, we'll leave that blank because there's given no range. It's 2.96%. And then remember what it said. It compounds daily. So you'll click on the arrow here. You'll select daily. And then you'll press calculate. Now, if Nathan never put in any more money and his account just earned interest over 2 years at 2.96%, the bank would pay him an additional $30.45. So in other words, he initially puts $500 in the bank. After 2 years at that interest rates, he's now earned an additional, almost $31, right? I know in your minds it might not seem much, but at the end of the day, that's $30 that he didn't have before, right? So we'll click reset, and now let's try something else. Let's say Mackenzie makes an initial investment of $1,000 because she had that sitting around. And let's say every month her parents basically give her about, let's say $200 in chore money. And again, 2 years, because she'll turn 17 in 2 years. And again, we'll put in this interest rate, 2.96%. And again, compounding daily. So what makes this different than Nathan's is Nathan just put in the $500, but then he hasn't been adding to it over time. Mackenzie put in $1,000, but now she's adding $200 every month for the next few years. So let's see how much she will end up with. So notice, right? Mackenzie contributed over time $3,400, and because of the interest, she made an additional $65.81 at that rate. So again, you might look at that and then say, that doesn't seem like much, but you can't look at it like that. You have to see it as my money is still earning money. She could have kept all her money in her house, but if at the end of the day, it would only be $3,400. By putting the money in the bank, she earned money by putting her money there. A final example, I once had a student, this was almost 3 years ago. So this student worked for his father in an auto shop over the years, and he just, like, every time he would get paid, he just stored the cash in garbage bags in his house. So the student literally had $30,000 stored away at home. Now let's say that student just put that money in a bank account that earned 2.9%. Now I know Apple Bank said if you have an account, if your account's above 10,000, they won't give you that interest rate anymore. But let's just say they did for a second, right? So let's say he puts that 30,000 in, and let's say he doesn't put any more money into it. It's just the 30,000 and that's it. So we'll put in 2 years, rate of interest 2.96%, and again compounding daily. So in 2 years, with this student just putting in 30,000 and not putting in any more, in 2 years, because of that interest rate, he gained a total of almost $2,000 from the bank. $2,000 that he didn't have. So notice how when you're not putting that much money in, compounding doesn't grow as much. But if you're putting in huge amounts of money and you're putting it in on a regular basis, you could see again how the money grows even further. So that just shows you again how to navigate a banking website. You're looking for this information here. It will allow you to compare. And what you can use the compound interest calculator for is looking at the different bank accounts you're looking at and plugging in the numbers and see which one is going to grow your money the most. I hope this helps you a little bit with feeling more confident in how to navigate this stuff on your own. But if you're still like a little confused or you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me on the chat. But remember this too, guys. Your parents do this stuff all the time. Your parents have bank accounts. Your parents write checks. We're actually going to do check writing on Thursday. So this is stuff that you could talk to your parents about. If you already have a bank account, for example, it's okay to ask your parents, Mom, Dad, why did you choose Chase? And let them explain. Maybe just because it was easier, right? Or maybe there were other reasons. Talk to your parents about these things because, like I said, they do it all the time, right? And they might even learn something from you. They might even be able to help you with your search. So, you could throw your questions to me at any time through the chat, but you should also be talking to your parents about this stuff, whether you have a bank account or don't. Because like I said, if you have one, you want to understand why your parents went with that, and maybe you want to switch, or maybe you don't. And if you're looking to open a bank account, at the end of the day, you're going to have your parents do it because you can't open an account on your own because you're not 18. A final comment I'll make about banking is usually when you open an account, even for me today, I usually have one of my parents' names on the account also, because what that will allow them to do is do banking for me in the event that I can't. So, for example, my mother is still listed on my bank account. One, I trust her, so obviously don't put anybody on there that you don't trust. But two, it's helpful because if, let's say, a hospital refunds me some money and sends that check back home instead of to me in New York City, because my mother's name is on the account, she could go to the bank and deposit that money for me. Whereas if it's just my money, if it's just my name on the account, then I'm the only one that can do the banking. So having one of your parents' names on the account with you will always give you some more options. But like I said, until you turn 18, one of your parents has to be on the account anyway. So just make sure that it's a parent, it's somebody you trust. Okay, guys, I hope this helped a lot, and I will see you guys on Thursday.